Okay, if you can hear me, cool. Tell me if the music's too loud or whatever, so I can kind of adjust stuff. Yo, what's up, Hoagie? Whoa.
Hello there.
Oh, you're on. What's up?
What's up, man?
Cool,
Chilling
cool. Hey, what's up,
quarters.
Ninomo? Oh, okay, well, good to see you, man. Glad somebody hopped on. See who else decides to. I like to wait like a minute or two before I start digging into some of these.
What are we do? What you digging into this time?
Well, the same thing. I figure it's fun. Why? What's the word? Was it why fix it if it ain't broke or whatever? But basically just going through whatever was posted in the last day or two on the Schizoid Reddit, because
Uh,
usually something gets posted, and even if whatever got posted isn't all that interesting, it oftentimes leads to more interesting conversations than were initially intended. So.
Facts.
And that's generally what I like to do so far. I can't really think of too many good starting points to talk about a lot of this stuff. So, and unfortunately for me, since I'm dealing with a schizoid sort of demographic, it they don't tend to want to like throw out subjects or ideas to talk about. So I usually like to find stuff and then build from there. And then if other people, while they're watching, they're like, "Hey, what about this?" Or if they get brave and they want to talk and say something, then they can hop in and say that or say something. Um, I see. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I got both Hoagie and Tina on the actual thing. Hey guys, how's it going?
Ooh.
If you decide to talk or whatever, just hop right in and say what's up. No pressure. You're just gonna be fucking around.
Hey,
Right.
I have a quick question. How do I see your
Tina has a
screen?
question? What?
Oh
H-
my.
how do I'm so mentally retarded with Discord. How do
Oh,
I see the
this
stream?
this is the only thing I'd suggest because I'm stupid and I'm a total boomer and I can't figure out yet. Somebody's got to help me out here and tell me how. But I can't figure out yet how to do the thing where like I can be in a stream with somebody and other people and talk to them and they can all see the live stream at the same time and it not like create an echo for them. Usually what I tell people is like just put it on a different window. You can watch it, but if you have the audio on for it, it's going to echo like crazy because you're going to hear me twice. So I don't know how you can see what I'm streaming without causing an echo for yourself. I
Yeah.
Because if
I'm
you
a computer tech and don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do it so that like I could stream this and you could see my shit. It would probably have to be a specific service or something that I use. And what's annoying is that my camera won't let me do video on both the Discord as well as on OBS. It's like one or the other. So if I try to like turn my camera on Discord, it won't let my camera work for OBS while I'm live streaming. So I don't know how to make it so you guys could see me. So most of the time, like, you guys can't see me. You just kind of talk to me like it would be a normal VC, and the people that could kind of see me or whoever are actually watching the stream. But if you're so interested in seeing my face, I would say just put it on your phone or on another window while you're talking to me, and then there might be a lag, but I would say turn off the audio. But you could at least see my face for whatever that's worth.
So
Uh,
I have a question. If I turn on my camera, will that make me visible in the stream?
Yes, very small but very visible. Yes, because like I have you right here on a window here. I can't even expand it if I want to. Ooh.
Hold
And
up, here we
so
go.
So I can make it bigger so that I could center it. So like I can hold on. I could set it up to where like it shows you specifically if you're like the person that's talking or you're the person that's more. There we go. All right, cool.
Haha, hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
I was thinking about doing like a RDJ kind of goatee because it grew out so much, but I don't want to look like a pedophile though.
Oh, that would be unfortunate. That would be an unfortunate look.
Do you think I would look like a pedophile with a goatee?
Well, let me see. Let me take a closer look at your face, and I'll tell you if you would look like. Nah, you wouldn't look like a pedophile. You would
Chris
just
Hansen has entered the chat.
Chris Hansen.
Yeah, the pedo buster.
No, I think. Oh man, you got way too much wind and shit coming through though.
Oh, fucking I know it's Florida. Hang on a minute, I'll mute myself while I'm not talking until I get done smoking.
All right, you do your smoke. Oh, there you go. Hoagie just said that looks good how it is. I wouldn't mess with a goatee. So don't mess with a goatee, according to Hoagie. Hoagie's liking it.
You can always take Hoagie's word for it.
Yeah. I mean, he's correct. All right, well, there's a few of us on here already, so might as well get started. I wanted to see how I could, like, I've been kind of messing with the layout, see what looks better, what doesn't, because it's so annoying. Because I obviously it's gonna look different on somebody else's full script. They full screen it or whatever. I don't know, whatever. The window itself for the, I don't know. I'm figuring it all out as I go. I'm a fucking boomer. Anyway, so let's get started. I'll look at the first post here on the Schizoid Reddit. 20 minutes ago. No one's answered this yet, so we'll be the first. Idle brain. Does anyone here feel they have a more idle brain than most neurotypical people? I've come to this conclusion over a number of years, getting close to a couple of people. It seems like everyone is always thinking and stressing out, and to be honest, if I'm not actively involved in something, my brain is doing very little. I am diagnosed as ZPD and bipolar 2. Just recently found this community. Fucking throat. Well, whoever you are, shagwagbag, there's another community out there on my server if you want to join it. If you end up watching this. But what do you guys think? How do you feel about your brain and your relationship with your brain? What do you guys think? Do you feel like your brain is usually running on idle or dependent on the situation?
Holy shit, my brain is like okay, so I've been in Florida for the past couple of days, you know, because when we do the video, we was on our way to Florida. And
oh, by the way, let's cut you off, but I just did an upload with this gentleman we're speaking to right now, Karma, we'll call him right here, but I just did a video with him and his brother, like the conversational ones I do. It's a nice like hour and a half conversation. It's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. I'd check it out. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that.
Incest.
Yeah, hashtag incest. Alabama incest. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, go ahead. What you were saying.
My brain has been pretty chill like this past day or two because I'm not in such a stressful environment. Like my brother brought it up to me last night. He was like, "You should feel great here," and I said, "Why?" And he was like, "Because if something goes wrong, there's no possible way it can be your fault." And I'm like, "Well, I guess that's true." So I've just had a stress-free couple of days, you know, and it's great. But now I'm having to go back home, and I just fucking hate that. My brain's gonna be going crazy when I get back home.
Well, I'm sure it will be. And what sort of thoughts do you think will be running through that crazy brain of yours?
Oh, just fucking stress, bro. Like, my mother is trying to charge me $650 for rent just this month.
Which, remember, folks, it's Georgia, Alabama. It's not California. In California, that shit would be like free. So yeah, but go ahead. Different cost of living.
Here that's outrageous. I mean, for that price, I could go have my own place. you know, and do whatever I want instead of like not being able to let my brother come over to the house or
Well, there's
not
your
being able
solution,
to.
right?
Yeah, but yeah, me and him are getting a place pretty soon, so that's going to be the solution to all that stress. But then there's bills and
So
all a
he's gonna
whole
be
bunch
your
of other
pimp.
shit. Yeah, he's going to be my pimp, my
Damn.
baby daddy.
Make your own brother your sugar daddy. That's
Yeah.
that's some Alabama shit right there, man, for sure.
Yeah, give me that sugar.
Jesus Christ. All right. So interesting. All right. Anybody else want to chime in on it before I start fucking rambling on?
I would say I don't have an idle brain, but I wish I did, because anxiety is a bitch.
Facts.
Oh yeah, it's a son of a bitch.
Too many stupid irrational thoughts just coursing through my brain. I sometimes go on autopilot, but it doesn't happen often.
Is it just intrusive thoughts usually?
Sometimes, and sometimes it's not. It's like, did I forget to turn the oven off? Where's my keys? I keep like checking my stuff, like if I have everything on me, and then it goes from like past experiences to like my future and stuff. It's like it just goes on and on 24/7.
Yeah, I've been there before. I was like that for at least a good decade of my life, I would say. Before some of the switches on that stuff started turning off. Admittingly, due to a little help from medication and therapy, but a little CBT. That's the only thing CBT ever helped me with was the anxiety. Didn't really help me with any of this other shit. It was kind of useless in that department. But as far as anxiety goes, it helped quite a bit. And
what's CBT? Sorry, I interrupted you.
sorry, cognitive behavioral therapy. It's usually what you do with most therapists. They try to like make you recontextualize, rethink about certain types of intrusive thoughts and blah blah blah. It's a process it's been tried and true for certain types of issues, like maybe some types of depression and anxiety and stuff. It doesn't always work for everyone. It definitely doesn't work for certain types of disorders because it doesn't quite apply. That includes, in my opinion, being schizoid. Like, it doesn't quite do anything. It doesn't really quite do much for the anhedonia or anything like that. There's no thinking my way out of certain things, like in some respect. At least not at least not in the manners in which they attempt to do so via most therapy and stuff. Usually, most of the stuff.
Thinking.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's usually what it entails. It's just like different exercises and such. I'm not going to go into which ones, but different exercises and such that you can do to recontextualize some of your negative symptoms.
To me personally, I think thinking about it would be worse because overthinking to me is the problem.
Well, I guess with cognitive behavioral therapy, it's more about how you think about it, not how often you're thinking about it. So it's supposed to help you with how you think about specific things, so that even if they are intrusive, you don't fear them or they don't bring you as much anxiety. And once the anxiety subsides, then the thoughts tend to become less intrusive because you have no... the reason it's like self-perpetuating. The reason they're intrusive is because you fear them so much. And because they're attached to a specific feeling of alertness and hyper focus. Yeah, it's a complicated thing. In any case, but as far as the idle brain stuff, it's kind of weird in my situation. It kind of like with Hoagie on this one. It either runs super fast or idle. It just depends on the situation. If I'm say in a place where I don't care to be or I'm bored, and there's not much as far as stimuli goes, I'll seek out what I can, and then if I can't find much, then it just kind of... I just try to like breathe and then just close my eyes and zone out. Usually contemplating like other things outside of my immediate vicinity or my own life in order to pass the time, or concentrating on observations I'm making throughout. So it's not so much, it's kind of idle, but it's not, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not like super actively thinking. It's more like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. I know this. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's associated to that. Oh, blah blah blah. It's like kind of like an idle game. If you ever played one on your phone, where it's just like you're just clicking the buttons. You're just clicking the buttons. You're not really like doing very much thinking, as far as like any kind of really analytical thinking. Or you might be, but it's so easy and it comes so naturally that it might as well be idle. Because the thing is an idle brain to a schizoid, I feel like, is a completely different thing than when you apply the term to somebody that is not. Because you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying when I say that, like it's a different kind of idleness. And then there's times in which I might be hyper focused, super analytical, super digging, super, and that's when you almost become like manic almost in your search for an answer for whatever that answer may be, or whatever activity you're trying to complete. It becomes all encompassing, but that might have to do with the ADD as well for me. So it becomes very engrossing. You get very pulled into and hyper focused into whatever it is that you're concentrating your mind into, to the detriment of basic necessities or other responsibilities that could possibly be neglected. I've improved that aspect significantly. I had to with the family, but yeah. Idle brain is a weird conversation for me. Tino, do you do that when you're like in a, say, non-stimulating situation? Do you just kind of like do you just idly just kind of start observing and thinking and just or does it always go to the anxious thoughts?
Depends. I would almost say it's like a scale. Sometimes it's like on the higher level of the scale, and sometimes it's not. But I do think about a lot of like mundane.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
things.
like just mundane sort of stuff.
Yeah, but definitely it's always like I can't explain it. There's still an anxiety component to it, because it's like, oh, I should go out, or did I forget to do this? I need to do that. It's really it's like ruminating thoughts all the time that I wish I could shut down.
What are there moments in which it does shut down? Like ever?
Sometimes, yeah, it does. I don't have this like overactive brain that continues to like process thoughts all the time, but I do wish I could have more of an idle. Just be in the present and enjoy the present, and focus on like they do. Is it yoga where you focus on what's in front of you?
Mindfulness, right?
Exactly, mindfulness. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do more of that.
I can do it, but it has to be a really conscious effort. Like it takes a lot of energy to do for me when I if I can, and it also depends on the environment. It has to be very quiet. It has to be very just isolated, and then maybe I could achieve such a peaceful sort of moment, even temporarily. But I definitely couldn't do it in most situations. It takes a lot of effort. You say you wish?
Yeah, I wish I could show my like that just never stops ever. Just always got to be something.
Even when you take a drag out of that cigarette, not even that quick moment.
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, like cigarettes, they help me a little, but like the other day, I had to go 2 days without smoking weed, and I thought I was going to die because I just couldn't control my head. it's like it was controlling me, and I'm like, this is not how this is supposed to work.
Just because you didn't have access to any weed for a while.
Yeah, it just helps me control my brain, you know.
And yeah. And you said you I don't remember if you said you were ADD as well or ADHD. You said yeah, right? Yeah, you're ADHD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The H part of ADHD is kind of like waned away over the years. So it's more of ADD now than ADHD.
Yeah, that's how I was when I was a kid. I was really like hyper.
Yeah.
And then it just like I mellowed out as I got older, and then I'm pretty mellow most of the time. But if I get too excited, if I get really excited for something, or I can get a little bit manic sometimes. I can get a little too nuts.
Yeah, I was getting a little manic, and when we was doing the video, if you didn't notice,
yeah, you were getting all goofy and shit. I could tell.
Yeah,
no,
it's just part of the mask.
No, I know, I get it. Well, part of it and not part of it. It's confusing. I understand. Like I said, it's hard not to do it at times. It's hard to the difficult part too is hear me out on this one, guys. Tell me if this makes any sense. By the way, if there's any other garden hermits that want to hop in and talk away, jump in and say whatever you want, or if you want to share or whatever, fuck it, just get in here on the server live stream. But and also guys that are watching on the live stream, fucking type in chat. Let's see what you got to say. I'm interested. But oh, fuck, I lost track of what I was saying. You were talking about fucking brain. It's always asleep. No, you were talking about the hyperactiveness, and then you were talking about not shutting it off. And then what else did you say? God damn it. What a piece of shit. I'm a terrible host. I can't. I had my thoughts in order, and then I derailed trying to like throw in a thing to invite people on. Now I can't fucking remember what I was saying.
Don't feel bad. You ain't the only one that don't remember what they said.
Yeah, shit. Oh, the masking. Yeah, the masking department.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the difficulties is when you're so disconnected from your emotional states, and because you mask often, or people, usually schizoids mask to a certain degree when they're around others, for a variety of reasons. What I think happens on occasion is that when you legitimately feel excited or some influx of positive sensation, because of, like, say, the conditions of the situation or the environment or just the context, like maybe there is something legitimately interesting happening or something that you're legitimately interested in, but because you can't quite tap into the emotion intuitively, you associate it sometimes to the masking, when in fact it might actually be a legitimate feeling, but you can't tell the difference. And because you can't quite tell the difference, it leaves you feeling really icky. Like, it leaves you feeling gross, because you're just like, wait, is this a real feeling, or is this masking, or what the fuck is this? And
oh, preach it.
Yeah, and it's fucking it's so shit, because then you can't differentiate between what's just a normal feeling and what is masking. And so then it leaves you kind of in a state of confusion. I've gotten a little bit better at differentiating it, because, like, for example, I've had a few people on the live stream tell me, or elsewhere, have told me that when I do these, there's times in which I seem very, like, talkative, very smiley, very laughy, right? And I'm not. And then they tell me, like, oh, are you masking? Are you masking during your streams and stuff? And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm actually, like, it's hard for me to really tell, but I'm actually just having a good time, which just doesn't happen very often. So I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling purposeful, I'm feeling productive. It feels good. For lack of a better word. And so oftentimes I get asked if I'm, like, masking or if something or another, and no, I am not. But when they tell me that, it makes me question myself. It makes me, like, go, what if they're right? What if this is all bullshit? Like, what if I'm not enjoying myself? What if this is just a mask? What if this is another narrative I created, just like all the other ones? And and you have these kind of intrusive sort of thoughts about it because of past experiences and past senses of hollowness. And no, but in this case, I can legitimately tell you, I enjoy doing this, which is something of a struggle for me to have admitted and to have actually also come to terms with because of the reasons I already mentioned. So
Like, I'm sorry I interrupted you, but when we did our
I'm done.
video, it pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and I liked it. I was like, if I'm gonna make progress, I have to keep pushing myself, to do the things I don't want to do.
So it's been established here that Karma likes being made to feel uncomfortable.
No, well, I wouldn't say I like it, but that's the
He likes to raw dog it.
He
likes to raw dog it. Just that's it. Anyway, so yeah, no, I know what you mean. And that's how I set up stuff. Like I deal with stuff with emotion usually. I mean, with emotion with humor. That's how when things get a little too cozy or comfortable, like it makes me feel weird. And so humor is usually my go. You gotta crack a joke, otherwise I'm gonna crack my brain.
Tragedy plus time equals comedy, y'all.
Always. Hey, Cynthia. What's up?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear you just fine. Cynthia is also an advocate of exposing yourself to uncomfortable situations that could probably lead to self-improvement.
Yeah, I literally just did that. I made a bunch of phone calls and like my skin is crawling. That's like usually how I feel anxiety.
I am applauding your efforts because that's good. That's the only way, man.
I did that to my brother. I forced him to go on that video with me.
Oh yeah, your brother. I could tell he was more nervous than you were, but that's good. I'm glad you can't force people to do stuff, but you can suggest it. And I think for a lot of schizoids, what helps is to leave a door open and not tell them they have to do anything, or not tell them that they're obligated or there's any pressure to do anything. It's more like, hey, there's a door open here. If you want to walk in, you can. If you want to leave, you can. It's fully open, fully available. And I think I'm discovering more and more that that's like the best way to deal with my garbage ass demographic. So because that's how I would do. Oh, go ahead.
Fuck.
What?
I'm like forgetting what I was gonna say because I'm so out of it.
It's all good
right now.
Cynthia, when aren't you out of it? God damn it. Anyway.
I know. I'm a very specific kind of out of it.
Oh. A chemically affected kind of out of it?
Oh, I've actually been no. I wouldn't be on YouTube if I was.
That's true.
I've actually been like working on using like the language in my head that I tell myself to like tell myself like, okay, I don't have to do things. I just, I want to.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I want for myself, and that like kind of opens a door, even like just mentally telling myself like I'm not forced to do any of this.
Nope.
I've made this decision. Anyway.
No, yeah, and that's kind of the approach I'm taking when it comes to this stuff. Like, I never want to make anybody feel like they have to do anything, because we already live a life that's like that all the time. We always fucking live that way. We've been living that way most of our lives, feeling like we have to interact, we have to take part in a world that doesn't make sense to us. And that's already difficult enough as it is. Damn, what you drinking? What the fuck is that? Can't even tell with my little ass screen. What is this shit?
It's mild pickle salsa.
Ugh. God,
Yeah,
that's
it sounds gross. My
fucking
brother's got it.
disgusting.
My brother's
Disavow.
got it.
Fucking disavow.
It actually sounds good to me. I love pickles, at least.
Me too.
Yeah, my wife loves pickles. I do not understand. I fucking hate pickles. But my point is I feel like if I leave the door open, and this is all I can do for now, because eventually if I do get more support and I have more garden hermits, obviously I can't just have like 10 people jumping on the live stream. So I'm gonna have to like figure out a way to kind of limit it. And then, like, you know, to a certain amount of... I think there's a way to, like, limit how many people can go in, so that way I can tell people, oh, go in and go out, or leave a space open if you're done talking, and then somebody else can hop in, and so on and so forth. But for me, it's just... oh, Sam Jam mentioned it. I can't remember what that is right now. The bird in a cage analogy. Can somebody remind me? I've heard that before.
Ooh, I'm
bird in a cage analogy? He said exactly... Anyway.
Like for schizoids, like just as like who we are, or like what?
Well, I don't know. He just said it's because Sam Jam, when I was talking about like not forcing people, he said exactly, you know, the bird in the cage analogy, and it sounds familiar, but I can't quite remember what that is. So if anybody's bored, just look it up for me and mention it and on here. But in any case, yeah, it's because that's how I function, right? And the more I approach this project, the more I approach this channel in a similar way that would be functional for me, the more I see it works. And the more, like, if I would have said, like, hey guys, get on my fucking live stream, you losers, or like, fucking get on my live stream, support me, or you guys fucking owe me, or some stupid crazy shit like that, like nobody would fucking give a fuck. Or even if I was like trying to guilt trip, if we try to use like, oh hey guys, it gets real lonely, I would really appreciate it if you... Nobody fucking gives a fuck. But just the fact that I just said like, hey, it's right here, get it if you want it, that's it. Like, that's all it usually fucking takes for me, because then it makes me think about like, do I want to do this or not? And then it makes me think about, do I feel like doing it? It doesn't make me think about, do I have to do it? Is this a new obligation I'm taking on that I don't want to? No, there is no obligation. There is no pressure. It's just talk if you want, don't talk if you don't want. If you're not going to talk, probably like whatever, like maybe just watch the live stream at that point. And then
Oh, your like aggressive approach though towards getting me to
the Patreon.
Join your Patreon.
Dude, it's just okay. This is my aggressive approach. My aggressive approach is not directed at taking people's money. It's directed at making them make an account on something to allow, like, just make the fucking account. Like, even if you make it and never give me anything, like, I'd be just happy that you made a Patreon account, that you actually made something, like that you actually logged in and made an account on some fucking website. That enough for me is like a sign of great effort. So no, yeah, it's just that's how I view it, because it's something that I have to do it. But anyway, let's
Can I say something?
Go
This is
for
gonna
it.
sound a little bit cringe.
It's okay. You're pretty cringe to begin with, so it's all good.
We were just talking about incest.
Yeah, I think it's amazing you're creating this like safe space for people, because safety for a Zoid.
Yeah, you're right. That term alone is fucking cringe. I know, but can't really think of it.
Like it comes down to that, feeling safe, because we haven't felt safe, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why we are the way we are generally.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just not feeling safe enough to want to participate in anything. So.
When you say safe, right, I have a question on that. Do you mean like physically safe?
No.
Like,
I mean, it can be.
Like,
but...
you think somebody gonna come and get you? Because I do be getting that sometimes.
I mean, right now, I've been having a lot of experience with creepers, like guys just hitting on me, especially because I'm married. I have a big fat ring on my finger, and it pisses me off, and it makes me like want to interact with men a lot less.
But Cynthia, what did you do to deserve that attention?
My face, which you guys will never see.
What did
so.
you do? How did you tempt these men?
That's what I'm talking about. I want to learn
I'm just
that
fucking
skill.
decent. I'm just fucking polite and decent and like,
Are you dressed
you
like
know,
a
my face,
whore?
my body. Nah, fuck you.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't even. I actually dress very modestly.
She's walking around in an Amish dress and a bonnet.
Pretty much, like all my I don't wear any skirts above the knee. Like I usually wear like turtlenecks in the winter.
I just want to know, like, how you be getting all these men to hit on you. I want you to teach me your ways so I can do it too.
I think it's honestly, I think it's just the way men are, or at least a certain portion of men, and it's just like so creepy. And I already like usually I can't relate to women, and you know, so.
Well, that's because you're a pervert.
I am too, but like I don't understand why talking about sexuality, like I talk about sexuality in the terms of what I do with my husband. I don't feel like that should be related to
So wait, you want to fuck now?
No, Jesus, I don't
like that.
get
You mean
it.
like that? Like it turns into like a invitation. Like just because you
maybe
can't.
that'll help.
No, what I'm saying is that when you have conversations with some men about that subject, they interpret it as some kind of invitation to.
I
partake.
don't do that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
I don't do that IRL. Like
Yeah.
I only do that on the internet, and like I don't get it. I just don't understand, because in IRL, like I dress very modestly, and I don't bring up those conversations with anybody who would be attracted to me, like even like a lesbian or a bisexual. But like on the internet, I don't show my face, and I like repeat that I'm married, and like I don't understand. I don't understand why people have relationships online either.
No, I get it. It's okay. None of us are having a relationship right now. So.
I mean, maybe there's just so many things I don't understand about people, but I actually have to go because I promised my mom that I would have a video chat with her. I'm doing a lot of uncomfortable things today.
Okay. Yeah. Peace out. Have fun, I guess, or whatever you're gonna have.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. It's okay. The biggest slut in this room right now is Karma. So yeah.
Facts.
So we're good.
I'll sling ass all day, every day.
Oh, you thought it was me? No, I am a happily married man, Tina.
Look, don't let me get
I only fuck to procreate.
We know what you do in the bedroom.
I only fuck to procreate, Tina. That's it. Nothing else. Okay?
Don't worry. Let me get in there. I'll be a homewrecker.
No! Jesus Christ. No! Karma! Fucking, where's the fucking horny stick? Jesus Christ. Oh, alright. So, now, with that awkward comment, let's continue on our search for good questions. See what I meant? So all I did was talk about Idle Brain, and it turned into all this mess. This is kind of what I enjoy about these conversations with you guys. They just go in so many fucking directions. This one looks like a TLDR. Let me move on.
Yo,
okay.
This bacon wrap pork chop is so good.
What the fuck? You're so fucking weird, Karma. It's funny as hell. You guys, if you guys haven't listened to the conversation, please listen to it. He's like this the entire time. And I can't help but find it funny. Like, normally, I'll be honest with you, Karma. Normally, your type of behavior annoys the living shit out of me. Like, you know, just the goofy aspect of it. But for some reason, maybe like I said, Schizoids can detect Zoids, man. But and
My Zoid radar is online.
yeah, it's like a gaydar.
Your sense is tingling. Yeah.
It's funny.
I got that too,
A
though.
Zoidar. Fucking,
Yeah.
somehow we can pick up on each other. Okay. Okay, this is a weird question. How does one understand that a person is apathetic?
I'm not.
How did... I don't understand why they even asked that. Okay, whatever. Next one. Oh, here. Let's see here. Having an internal problem. Somebody, let's see what we got here.
Ooh.
Pope of Metal on Schizoid Reddit said, a old friend hit me up asking to become friends with benefits. But when I think about having sex with someone else, it makes me nervous/anxious. I can picture myself doing it, but I'm unsure I could go through with it due to nerves and if I would enjoy having sex with someone else. Does this mean I'm asexual? Because I do frequently masturbate.
I'm about to say you can't have sex by yourself. At least I've never.
No, but I think he's saying. I think they're saying an old friend had having sex with someone else. So I'm guessing they had a relationship with one other person because they're saying having sex with someone else, and now they're in a situation where this friend wants to have a friends with benefits situation, and they're kind of on the fence about whether it's something they want to partake in or not.
I mean, not wanting to have sex with someone doesn't make you asexual.
No, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of confusion, I think, with there's a lot of people out there that think that asexual means that you have no like interest in having sex with like in people IRL. There's plenty of people that don't, and they're. I mean, is that closer to aromantic? What would that
no
even
idea.
be considered? Like someone that consistently is a coomer, but doesn't want to actually participate in the act with somebody. I mean, it's weird because you are not asexual if you're fucking jacking off every other day. So,
Right. Or
I don't
multiple
know.
times a day.
I mean, unless you're doing it for, goddamn, unless you're doing it for like you really care about your prostate health or something. Well, but unless it's
The
for that,
prostate's in your butt.
no, I know, but it's actually good for your prostate to, wink off. It's supposed to be good. It's supposed to stave off
you
prostate
know
cancer,
what?
like other things. Yes, I'm sure you do a great job, Carm.
But my prostate should be very healthy.
So what's the difference between aromantic sexual people or aromantic asexual people? Like, what's the difference?
I don't know. I don't know enough about this. I don't know enough about this subject. Magenta, go for it. Maybe you can-
I suppose if you're aromantic, but you are sexual, then I guess you would treat people like objects and you wouldn't be interested in the romance. And if you're like both asexual and aromantic, then you're just like a complete 100% Zoid. You know, like you
Dang,
just
Cynthia
wanna
had to
cut yourself
hop
off
back in for this
from other
one.
people.
I actually did.
Jesus Christ. All right, Cynthia, aren't you gonna get in trouble with your mom or whatever?
No. No, it turned out not to be her.
Wait, it wasn't your mom?
No, I got confused with the sound of somebody joining this and whatever. I had to hop in because this just goes against my understanding, and like all of this stuff is very like new terminology, so I'm not totally sure, but I consider myself like asexual or aromantic.
Aromantic.
Or
Yeah.
oh my god, I can't even get this.
I think you're closer to what Magenta just described, which is sexual but aromantic.
Yes.
Yeah,
And-
that's what Magenta was describing.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't want a life partner, but I don't choose them based on like romance. Like I don't know what romance feels like really. It's just a different
Karma's like
Crazy.
gagging on a cock. That's romance.
Yeah, totally.
Glory,
I don't
glory holes, Alabama glory holes. That's
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh my god, I'm such a mess. I am.
You do sound like a mess, Cynthia. I have to admit, you sound like
You
a
weak.
like a hot mess. So, but it's
She
okay.
sure does.
I'm actually some sort of asexual. I'm autosexual. Like I'm only attracted to myself.
Oh yeah, I said
I
yeah.
tell you what.
But I think okay, now that I think about it, I'm like
That doesn't make you asexual.
I'm
That
like
makes you
bi-
autosexual.
Oh.
gay romantic. Yeah, but it's like some form of asexual.
She's
from
auto.
what I read.
She's auto romantic. She only romanticizes love with herself.
No, I like got confused because I'm so out of it from all of that like
Here.
phone calls.
All right. So,
So
if you,
I am bi-romantic. Like I could have a romantic-ish relationship, but it's not really the kind of romance that other people think of.
Yeah, but that doesn't. That's fine. Like that's
Oh,
okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It's just I fucked up when I was describing it.
All right, okay, it's okay. Get your shit together, Cynthia. Magenta, I'm curious. Magenta, I'm curious. What would you categorize yourself if you wanted to share? Like, are you which one of those? What mix of that would you say you are?
I don't really know the word, but like I don't feel sexual attraction to people unless I'm really close to them and like feel
It's fuck.
Like,
That's called demi.
yeah.
Demisexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So confusing. I hate that there's so many names for all these different things. It's so fucking like it's better just for somebody to describe their situation and then just move on, right? Like to seek out a specific word is just so fucking it's so crazy, man.
I kind of like it because it's so quick. It's like efficiency in language.
Yeah, I guess that much is true. All right. So that means that only through intimacy, which I mean, I'm guessing is difficult considering Zoid, can you achieve a kind of a proper sense of sexual attraction to another person. Is that
That's
what
my understanding of demisexual. Yeah.
Is that what you mean, Magenta?
Yeah, like for me, sexual, like I can feel like slight, very like acute feelings, but like they're really fleeting, and they usually like feel really weird to me and like disgusting, unless I feel like emotionally close to someone and I can like genuinely care about them, and then I feel like I can, because like I don't want to make it about me. I don't want to make sexual attraction about me. It's about someone else, right? Like I want to care about.
So you like your horny to be focused on the other person?
Well, I want it to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because I'm a Zoid and I live in my head, and I struggle to be outside. So like this is why I very rarely date people and. I don't do one night stands, or like I've done that, although I've done it like once.
Well, it's called
really bad.
called raves and drug fueled rampages, right? So
yeah, I've done that once or twice, but
not the best idea. Got it.
Yeah,
not the healthiest for you for your personal experience.
Yeah. And. So yeah, like I most of the time I just kind of block everything out unless I feel like I actually care about something.
Got it. All right, Tina. What about
Yeah.
you? How does your horniness express itself?
I literally just think about myself.
I know,
Like-
Cynthia. No, I'm asking Tina. Cynthia, I'm asking
like-
Tina.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some people call me Tina.
What the
What?
fuck?
I have Tina on other platforms. I'm sorry.
It's okay,
Wait,
Cynthia.
what? Okay.
No, she uses
But
different
was
tags.
It was a popular name in the 80s. I mean, you know, Freddy Krueger in the first movie, Tina.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
So Tina,
yeah.
how does yours translate? I'm curious.
Demisexual as well.
So basically,
I'm
same thing.
I'm happy Magenta. Yeah, I'm happy Magenta mentioned it because it's literally the same. It's like that deeper. It's almost like a deeper connection. It's not based
God,
on.
that sounds so difficult considering, you know, the disorder. Like, that sounds like it's like a fucking. Like, that's difficult. It sounds like it would be difficult.
I'm like the opposite.
It is, but it's just to have that deeper connection. They describe it as like either emotional or spiritual or something, or like you have things in common. It's just having that person that you
Your
just
fucking coworkers
that
got
you're
me
just
quite girl
connected
wasted
with.
last night.
Wait, what happened?
You know how he did.
Oh, okay. He was caught in a talk somewhere else. Anyway, that was funny.
But yeah, it's like a deeper connection that's not based on how you look. It's not based on, you know.
I mean, they can't all look this good.
Their personality. It's deeper than that. Like the whole package has to fit. You just have to have that deep connection. To
So,
them. But yeah, it is hard.
Tina said it here. The whole package has to fit. If the package doesn't
Yeah, I
fit,
can't-
you
I
must
can't
acquit.
explain-
Yeah, you gotta. It's gotta be the right package.
The way you describe it.
Yeah,
That's
what?
not-
It has to be
No,
the
Same as me.
right package. If the shape of that package isn't right, if it's not the right girth of package, and the length isn't quite what you need in a package, then it's not gonna fit in that mailbox. It's just
Yeah,
It's
not.
actually
It's,
literally me.
It's not the size
Sorry.
of the boat. It's the motion of the ocean.
Jesus
If
Christ.
it's too big, you just gotta make it fit, y'all.
Yeah, spoken aptly by a gay man.
Yes, I don't think there's.
Make it fit.
People say that because I'm gay, I'm not manly, and like
No.
and that, straight dudes will say that to me, and I'm
The
like,
gayest,
well, how?
gay men are the manliest men.
I know because I don't see no straight men taking a dick.
No,
up their
no,
butt.
no. Gay men are the manliest men because that is extreme. that is an extremely intimidating action to partake. So yes, I condone you, sir, for your bravery.
Yes, my
But-
manliness.
But hey,
Grr.
but what's interesting to me is this though, is that it doesn't necessarily translate into, because you guys are describing IRL sort of situations, right? But when you talk about IRL and you talk about the schizoids' kind of personal proclivities, like when they're solo or when they're by themselves or whatever, it tends to be highly different. Would you say so? Like, are you demi-romantic when you're just looking to squeeze one out?
This is like almost full.
Hold
up.
I would
Or
say,
demisexual, I mean?
I would say I'm demisexual if I should give it a name, but it's hard. Definitely being schizoid as well, because there are not many people I really deeply connect with.
No, yeah. No, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about
So,
is
yeah.
when it's just maintenance, or when you're just doing your thing, you know, when it's not in a relationship, when it's just your thing. How does that translate to being demisexual though? Like, does one have to fantasize about intimate situations or intimate sort of romantic experiences in order to achieve what you need to achieve? Like, do the fantasies have to center around that in order to for masturbatory purposes? Is what I'm saying.
Hold up.
Yeah, that's a hard question. I'm not probably the right person to ask.
No,
'cause I
I'm just
haven't had
curious because
that.
I'm not this
Yeah.
like I'm not this demi kind of. I don't need this emotional sort of intimacy to want to like partake in something like that. So I'm trying to understand how that process would translate into something like that since you're by yourself. So my guess is that the associated fantasies would have to be in connection to that aspect. I don't know. It was just a question. If anybody had an answer.
I don't have the need for intimacy. I just have the need to nut. Like that's
No, I get that. That's how I am too. That's what I'm saying. Like I get that. But you know, obviously the way they're describing it, it's a different situation. And I've heard other people describe it like that. But I'm trying to say that there might be there's often a difference between what is the IRL requirement of
you can suck my blood.
Okay, the IRL. Okay, hold on. The IRL requirement that needs to be met in order for you to have an intimate relationship with another person, but those IRL requirements don't necessarily reflect the solo kind of fantasy aspects. If that makes any sense. Like, for example, I might watch films or read erotica associated to acts that I find particularly arousing, but wouldn't partake in real life. And so, and because of that reason, I can use those tools for self-gratification, but I would never actually want to participate in said events with a partner. So there's a difference there. There's an existing kind of boundary there. Does that make any sense to either Magenta or Tina?
So you're basically asking me how I bust my nut or
No,
something like that.
no, I don't need details. I'm talking about the psychological aspects of how Tina busts her nut. Yes, like I'm not talking about. I don't need to know that where you like to put your foot and your leg up. I don't need to know any of that stuff, like or you know any of that. I just want to know the psychological aspects of how it entails when it comes to being demi or needing an emotional intimacy in order to generally do this with a partner.
Feel arousal. I'm not aroused by going to a club and I see like a beautiful woman or a handsome guy and I'm like, and fall into this like small talk where I start masking. For me, that doesn't do anything, not even dating.
Okay, but
Usually
that's in a
people say,
relationship. What
yeah,
does one do when you're not in a relationship? Like, I know what one does, but what I'm saying is that how does the psychological aspect of uh, masturbatory thoughts function for someone that is demi? Because it's obviously not a focus on the physical experience or the anatomical aspects. If the focus is on intimacy, how would that translate is what I'm saying.
I would say, I mean, fantasy and,
Yeah,
like
that's kind of what
through my dreams, yeah.
so
So,
scenario based fantasy,
ex
but
exactly.
it's usually like you manufacture these thoughts of emotional intimacy to achieve your goals. Would you say that? Like similarly, like so that
Yeah.
someone would manufacture, really perverse kind of scenarios for their own intent.
hmm
I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. That's it. I don't need anyone's details. I'm just always being curious how that works because I've heard other people describe that, and I've never. Because like in my situation, if I were to describe my situation, it's more like, I'm very very focused on the physical act, almost like a scientist watching just animals. Like it. And for whatever reason, the physical acts themselves are what works for me. Emotional intimacy or romanticism or romantic situations can maybe tickle some other deeper human part of me, but not it's not what is like the main component needed for me as far as when it comes to arousal mechanisms. It's more just
It
like I need to see the parts doing the things, and then
it tickles your fancy, doesn't
yeah, it
it?
tickles my fancy, correct. And so as long as I see the parts doing the things, I don't really care about who's like, as long as the parts are clean and the bodies are in, decent enough to look at. What matters to me is all the parts going in and out and doing stuff. And then the amount of parts involved sometimes. So so for me, that's for personal interests and stuff. But when it comes to my actual relationship, I like intimacy, but during those type of events, or when I partake in that, and I enjoy the intimacy, and I do have a focus on the physical act as it's going on. I need lights on. I like the lights. I like seeing everything. Right? I like the lights on and everything. And
I do like that.
yeah, exactly. So and that's what I mean. Like, but I don't really like my fantasies, quote unquote, wouldn't involve emotional scenarios, romantic situations in which I it's heartfelt and so on and so forth. Like I can't. If anything, that would just kill it. Like that would just burn. Like it would take a dive bomb at that point, because it would just be like, what is this shit? Like I'm not here for this. It always reminds me of have you guys ever seen the movie Boondock Saints?
Oh yes.
Anybody else? Boondock Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. One of my favorite scenes in that movie has nothing to do with any of the action. Like, it's probably my favorite scene, and it's when Willem Dafoe just finished having sex with this like twink, right? And he's laying in bed because he's gay in the movie. He's laying in bed smoking a cigarette, and he's got this like twinky looking guy next to him, right? And he's just sitting there thinking about the case he's working on and smoking, right? And then the guy goes up to him, post coitus, and tries to snuggle up like Spoon. And he looks at him like with a face of disgust, right? And he kind of pushes him off a bit. And he says, "What are you, some kind of fag?" It's my favorite scene in that movie.
I
Like,
have to say, I am guilty of that. I do love snuggles.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but Willem Dafoe, obviously a gay man because he just finished having sex with another man. It's when the other guy tries to cuddle with him that he tells him that. And I think that scene kind of sometimes describes the type of thinking that I have, which is like, okay, we're just here to do the thing, right? Can we just do the thing, and then later I'm gonna play video games now, or read a book, or bye. Like, I didn't trick you. I didn't bring you into this making you think this was gonna be anything more. This is mutual understanding, and if you misunderstood, that's not on me. Like, I explained this ahead of time. So I guess it's, for me, the intimacy actually grosses me out, but it makes those experiences less so, because, well, obvious, I'm schizoid, so I find it really odd and curious that you guys that there are schizoids out there that are emotionally, they need emotional attachment in order to achieve such goals. That's fascinating to me, because I don't relate to it at all. I don't even understand it. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's really cool.
I don't need it to achieve my goals, but I do like it. You know, I like a little bit of it in between.
He likes the whispered sweet nothings.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I think I've only, like, quote unquote, like, made love a couple times. And it's very weird. Like, it's almost like that one of those, like, discomfort things that I'm trying to push through. Like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you could be like, and that's the joke part. Like, in my situation as well, is you could, for example, be obviously completely nude and spread eagle, and that's not even the fucking issue. Like the issue, the issue of discomfort wouldn't be the fact that you're spread eagle. It's the fact that they're saying romantic things to you while you're spread eagle. So that's the part. That's the part that would make me go like, please stop. Please
Yeah,
stop.
don't be saying that weird shit.
Like, no, like, why are you saying, like, obviously with my wife it's a different situation, but if it was a more different scenario, like if it was just like a hookup or something, and then the person was trying to say like, oh, I really love your eyes and all this shit while like we're banging, I'd just be like, oh, please stop. God damn, shut up. like let's switch. Let's flip you over, because this is not gonna work.
I can confirm demisexuals don't do that. When you're fucking, you're fucking. Look, nobody says like, "Oh, your eyes are so blue."
Okay, oh,
like
thank
the
God.
deepest of the ocean.
Like, I'm just wondering, is that the kind of shit you guys like to hear? Like, or is it just a
That's such a good
physical
job.
intimacy, like
I,
skin to skin contact? And
Magenta, help me out.
I mean, I like to hear things if it's really genuine, but like if but if it's like if it's forced and is just some kind of cliche, just like.
No, I'm
like,
just thinking
you
about
know,
what kind of
like-
cliche would you say during coitus, like
I love you.
I love you. That's how you say it, Karma. I love you.
Oh, don't you start making fun of this accent now.
But it's so funny.
Don't make me start complimenting you.
Right, exactly. I know, but like I'm trying to think. Okay, so what's a good example? Like, I mean, without getting too graphic, what is a good, sincere thing that could be said besides like that hoe be tight?
That pussy be banging.
like besides, like, I mean, because that's the thing, like some people like hearing stuff that's demeaning, other people that want to hear sweet nothings. So sweet nothings to me sound like it's disgusting. Like I like objectifying demeaning terms myself.
I like that too.
Yeah, I like hearing them as well as giving them. I don't really like these like sweet nothing type situations. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how does one come across sincerely? I mean, I guess if you're saying it, you're probably enjoying yourself. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah, well, things should just flow, you know. Like it shouldn't be like awkward, you know.
No, of course. I just hate silence.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of no talking. Like zero talking. Like that just, no, it's like, what? Or quiet people when someone's quiet. Oh God. It's just like, what is
I hate
this?
it when you're there and you're coitus, you're doing that, but then they're just sitting there just fucking dead silent.
Like a dead fish?
They just laying there and I'm like,
yeah, man, there's nothing worse. It makes me feel like some rapist. Like, it's awful.
Well, it makes me feel like I'm
that.
not doing my job correctly.
No.
Well,
Wait.
I mean, like, I like the physical aspect so much that I make noise. Like, I make significant noise, so I'm not just lying there. But, hearing anything, it, like, almost takes me out of the fantasy of, like, watching myself being sexual. Like,
yeah, because you're focused on that. You're being as theatrical as possible for your own sake. Like, I think it's funny. You're being as theatrical as possible, not for the sake of the partner, but for your own reasons.
Uh-huh.
Which is so funny. It's usually the opposite of why somebody would be theatrical in such a situation.
Exactly. I found that out when I was on like a narcissist server, that like they do things they do things to please the other person because like they want to impress the other person, and I'm the opposite. Like I want my partner to be relatively quiet, and like I can just sit there and think about them.
Yeah, I get it. Like I no,
like not them, but like them
so funny.
doing me.
Like it's not even that they're doing it. It's just that it's being done.
I actually never,
So
I never
confusing.
understood until recently the idea of a selfish lover. I was just like, well, if you're getting like if you're getting physical pleasure from it, and you have like every reason to assume they're getting physical pleasure from it, at least something, then what does that mean to be like a selfish lover? I just do the things that I want.
What
I just do the things that I want.
Is there even a thing that's called not selfish love?
Well, yeah, when you're like if you're on your knees eating pussy, it's not exactly like.
But you enjoy it.
I mean, I mean that's true, but it's not. I guess so. I mean, I guess it would be. Maybe not.
So like my husband is like that. Like he gets the most. I've seen people like that they get the most pleasure out of pleasing the other person.
Yeah, how theatrical the other person is in response to their actions. Yeah. That makes sense because I would say that I am the same because I like seeing results. I'm a man who likes to see results.
Yes.
So
Yes.
results are everything for myself, and without results, I am out. I am uninterested.
Yeah.
Like I don't even get like it. I wouldn't even get butthurt in a situation where if like the other person's like, "This isn't working," I'd be like, "Thank God you stopped," because I am hating this right now. Like, so yeah. I mean, I would say that would be a different situation. God, before this turns into a complete. Oh, hey, Ninomo, I didn't even see you were on. You fucking ghost of Zoid.
Hey, yeah, I was waiting for you guys to stop talking about coitus because I have nothing to add to this conversation.
Oh, stop it, Ninomo.
Coitus
I'm
is
sure.
too
I'm
fun
sure you
not to
put
talk
plenty of
about.
things in your butt.
Oh.
That's nasty, man. Nah.
I'm kidding. All right.
So, can I ask you a quick question? And like
Yeah.
obviously, if anybody's like uncomfortable here with answering,
Is the music too
but,
loud?
are you like are you one of the like sex repulsed type of asexuals?
Yeah, because that's just as relevant, honestly.
I suppose mostly, like literally the only one I could even consider having sex with is my friend because I'm so close to her. But it's not like I want to, have sex with her. It's just like if I were to have sex with someone, it would be her. But in general, yeah, I suppose I'm sex repulsed because usually right after I'm done beating my meat, I feel so disgusted with myself.
Oh, I have that sometimes. Like when I'm watching porn, and I nut, and I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?"
Oh wait,
Okay.
the not my best fat type situations, especially. Those are especially awkward. But yeah, I see. But yeah, that's rough. That's a different whole pile of stuff, huh?
I'm not really sure why it is this way. Like, I did have something, I guess, sexual-ish happen to me in the past, but it's kind of a confusing situation for me. Because it wasn't that I wasn't, it's not that I wasn't consenting, it just wasn't fully. I don't know, it's a weird situation. I was young, too, so...
I mean, it could definitely be linked to that. But I mean,
Off the topic.
nah, sorry, dude. We've been on it long enough. Honestly, we've been on it long enough.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
Let's fucking move on. So let's see here. Let's see what our next question is. Let's see what we got here. Oh, by the way, guys, I have this really, really fun idea. You guys are gonna have to figure out. Oh, I'm gonna have to figure out how to set it. Not you guys. Hold on. But in this idea that I've been having is I have this idea for a show, and it's I want to call it the Schizoid Scattershot Show. And I just like the way it sounds, Schizoid Scattershot Show. But it's the thing I want to do is just similar to what we're already doing now, because for whatever reason schizoids are always just fucking thinking about something or another, or they can take a small piece of information and dismantle it and turn it into like a million different avenues. And it's fun. It can be fun. It's sometimes intrusive and annoying, but in the case of a situation like this, it can be definitely fun. And so what I was thinking was to set it up. Obviously, I want to get a background, maybe some art, figure something out. And I got to figure out how to get people's like individual little boxes or whatever. Like, I got to figure all this shit out. But I want it to be so where, because there's random generators out there, like random topic generators. And I like the idea of using a random topic generator and then forcing ourselves to have a discussion on that topic. And then just using all our schizoid powers to come up with like elaborate just brainstorms of like really pointless shit.
That sounds fun. I don't know if it would be pointless for me. Like, I would probably try to tie it to something that's more grounded in reality, but also like strange. Like
same. No, that's reality. Fine. I'm not saying everyone's different, but what I'm saying is just getting a randomized topic and then somehow building off of that is so much fun to me. And I think it would be an interesting thing just to have different. And that's the thing. I don't want to limit this particular idea. The servers for Zoids. But this particular idea, I don't want to limit to schizoids specifically. I actually want to throw in mostly cluster A's. So it'd be fun to have some tipples or whatever, typals and some phrenics in there. And then just have like a mix of cluster A's. Just fucking breaking down like random topics. Just getting scattershotted topics. And then just having discussions until the topic is dead. Or changes completely and turns into something else and gets completely derailed, which would be incredibly funny to me. The topic will never die. Yeah, Hoagie says the topic will never. So it would have to be like on a time limit or something, like half an hour or 20. Like it would have to be like a 30-minute time limit on a topic, so that like no matter how far along we are on the topic, once the 30-minute mark hits, that's it. We stop. Topic over. Next topic. And then and I think it would be pretty funny just to see how it would develop and what directions it would go in, because like a lot of the time that's what happens when we have conversations, even when it's on VC. Like it goes from fucking like, hey, traffic laws, and it'll turn into like genocide.
True.
Like it'll just go from like the most insane shit. It'll go from like the types of keyboards I like. Oh no, whether light up keyboards and non-light up keyboards are better. And the argument will eventually turn into like fucking, I don't know, quantum mechanics or something.
Ooh,
like it's just so stupid. Like I love it. I love how it can turn into this just clusterfuck of shit. And what I love about it is that in most situations, when people start derailing and going off in different directions, all crazy, other like normal people and neurotypical people, when that's happening around them, they go like, "Oh, this conversation got weird. I'm out." Or they go, "What the fuck's going on?" Or "That's not what we were talking about." But I've noticed that with you guys and other cluster A's I've spoken to, that they just kind of go with the flow usually, and then like they just kind of move with it and like just flow with it. Like and by the time you're done having a conversation that started on one topic, you forgot what the original topic ever even was. And I love that, because what would be super funny about it would be that we would still have like tagged on there what it is we originally started, right? So I would make the topic disappear. Like, I would basically say what the topic is, and then I wouldn't show it on the screen. And then we would talk and talk and talk for 30 minutes, and then at the end, we would try to think back at how the fuck we got to where we were at that point.
That could be fun. You could at least try it.
Well, fuck it, why not? I mean, we're already doing it right now. Like, that's my point. We've been doing it. Like, every time I talk about some new fucking question, like, it goes all over the goddamn place. You guys do it every day on the fucking server. Like, I just don't see how that can't be turned into some form of entertainment for our weird demographic here. So, all right, let me read the next thing on here. Curious. Did you suspect that you have schizoid PD before going to a psychologist or being investigated? Okay, they put sorry if the English is bad. Being investigated for it.
I mean, it kind of is an investigation. That's what it feels like. It feels like an interrogation and then a BS test, and then just like they like take so long to do this like internal investigation. Mine like took a month before he got back to me and was like, yeah, you're schizoid, and nothing else really came up.
You're tarded.
I mean, I feel like she was erring towards like sociopath until I took the test.
Oh man. Whew, that was a close one. That's the last thing you need, right? Sociopath. Just a fucking big stamp on your fucking forehead. I still think I still kind of I'm holding to the notion that a lot of schizoids really are just like I said, sociopaths with the capability of cognitive empathy. Like,
yeah,
like a lot of us are, man.
Like, I can't imagine bothering to do anything sociopathic.
No, psychopathic.
Like,
psychopathic.
So yeah, like
we do plenty that's sociopathic. we just don't. We just try not to. We don't tend to do things that are psychopathic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, it's like a non-psychopath sociopath. Like, I feel like, or sociopath that isn't generally partake or have any interest in partaking in whatever psychopathic interests that sometimes people have.
What I've heard is that people with ASPD, they actually like do have like this core of not respecting other people's rights, and I think we're the opposite, or at least generally the opposite, because we know what it feels like to have our rights disrespected, you know, and we
or neglected,
rationalize that, and we like have the intellectual capacity to see that other people don't deserve that.
Well, and I think it's also partially because we are like, well, we don't want people doing that to us, because fuck that. I want to be left the fuck alone. And what's the best way to be left the fuck alone than to leave other people the fuck alone? Usually, not doesn't always work in that way, unfortunately. But I think that's how it kind of ends up. And so maybe even if the desire to have like a ethical system of some sort isn't like all that altruistic, even if it's some kind of it's almost like I said, a reciprocal altruism. Like if a schizoid wants to do altruistic acts, it's generally because they know that they may receive similar support or similar freedom as the person they're providing it to.
Like, before I found out I was schizoid and came across this place, the person I related to, if anybody knows them, I know Angst does, but was Destiny. He's like a debater on YouTube
debater.
and Twitch. Master debater. And he spends almost all of his time playing video games and
Arguing
coming
with
up with
people.
like an ethical system. Well, he's arguing for the sake of like figuring out and
Yeah,
defending his ethical system. And other than that, like the way he justifies it is like basically exactly that. Is he wants a world where things go well for him, like things like everybody is treated in a way that goes well for him, and I really relate to that.
Yeah, because if most people are doing well, then you inadvertently will probably do well, or most likely will do well in that situation. But I think it runs deeper because the reason I think it runs deeper is because there are plenty of ways to do well at the cost of other people. Yet, regardless of the emotional empathy many of us lack, we still don't go down those routes generally. We don't, maybe because they require too much effort or motivation. I don't know. I don't know. And many of us might have like fantasies and such that are, I guess would be considered psychotic by some, but I think they never translate to anything else.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like a way of venting because we don't have the normal ways of venting that a human being can normally tap into in a more easy way. But anybody else want to chime in on what was just spoken or what the original thing that got brought up? Like, see what I mean? Like, that has nothing to do with what the fucking original question was. Which was, did you suspect that you're schizoid PD before going to the psychologist or being investigated for it? So did any of you, whether you want to talk about what I was just talking about with Cynthia or otherwise, want to chime in on that?
I didn't eat. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say I don't really have much more to say.
Magenta?
I didn't even know about Schizoid until my psych mentioned it.
How did you feel when they said it, and did it all just click, like a lot of it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even like. I heard her say Schizoid, and I didn't even know what it was. I had to like do my own like research, and then yeah, everything just kind of fell into place.
I'm just wondering, like, how did any of you guys self-diagnose before going to seek therapy? Like,
I did, and it's so dumb, but I kept thinking, because I had never heard of Schizoid before this, I kept thinking, like, okay, I feel super empty, like, I have some anger issues.
some?
I have some weird, like, relationship with pushing people away, but I don't really have that. So I don't really have that, like, desire to pull them in. So I thought I was BPD, and then I recognized, like, some narcissist traits. So I thought maybe I was a narcissist. And then I took this, like, silly online quiz, and most of the personality disorder traits were really low, except for Schizoid, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So I researched it, and everything clicked, and I had already had an appointment scheduled to see like a psychologist for a full analysis, and that's exactly what they concurred.
Ninomo, I don't remember, but I don't remember if you self-diagnosed or you found out just via therapy, or if it was just something you came across and you diagnosed.
Therapy.
Huh?
I came across it in therapy.
Okay, so you didn't know about it either until you were told?
Nope. But I always thought, like I know something's up. I just never found out what exactly it was until I found out about schizoid. Because at first I thought, like, well, maybe it's Asperger's, I don't know. But, it's like nothing quite fit until this.
Yeah, I thought Asperger's too.
Yeah, me too, man. Like, I gotta admit, I thought that about myself too. I thought Like initially, I was just like, "Am I just autistic? Like, what is this?" Like, because nothing seemed to make sense. And so I figured, like, oh, maybe I'm just super, super high functioning autism or Asperger's or something. And that's initially my going theory initially before I found out more about Schizoid. And then it also started clicking significantly. So I kind of, but I found out about it via my own research. Like I did self-diagnose long before I actually sought out a formal diagnosis. So that's cool. That's cool. That's interesting. All right. Anybody else want to throw in on that? All right, we're good. What? Go for it.
I definitely relate to the Asperger's aspect. Like my mom kept telling me that she thought I were on the spectrum and should get checked out. But you know, I think over time I've understood that there's a huge difference. But I mean, there's some overlap. But
I actually have to peace out for real now.
Okay. Later.
Oh, okay. Take care.
What happened to fucking Karma? He jumped off a while ago. Fucking disappeared on our ass. Probably got busy or something. That's fine, whatever. Sam Jam says, I'm a freakazoid. I like that. That's a good show, too. That's a very good show. Fucking Freakazoid, man. I loved fucking Freakazoid, but, and he also said, we shoot the shot. Yeah, what? Please, great schizo leader, tell us what to talk about next. I am your authoritarian leader. Right. I'm just gonna turn. I'm gonna be like the guy who eventually sets off when I pass away. I'm gonna be the guy who set off the schizoid revolution and world takeover.
Oh, Great Father Angst, tell us your prophecies.
I'm gonna have a big bushy beard and my long gray hair. It'll be looking like I don't know, some fucking Merlin looking fucker. It'll be like, these are the great words of the schizoid. We have the answers. Humanity must be purged from neurotypicals. That's how I love to imagine. Just in a big gown and a hood. And just leading the way for humanity. Like a Magneto, but for like retarded people. Oh man, that's awful. Okay, so let's see what we got next. I'm sure we can squeeze some more out of all this shit. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining up. You know me, like even without people, I can fucking talk forever. So it's nice to actually have a break, because when it's just me, man, like my throat fucking hurts by the time I'm done doing like 2 hours. Just non-stop fucking yammering. And it's not because I'm forcing myself, it's just I can fucking chatterbox all goddamn day. It's awful. Let's see here. Constant desire to run away. Ever since I was little, I used to pray for a drifter to come and take me away. In my teen years, I would run away from home whenever I felt I'm being caged. With no plan, no money, being a teen girl in a radically Islamic country. Oh, that's fucking dangerous. Now I'm working on myself and trying to learn how to be a member of society. And I improved a lot. I now have a social mask and can communicate with some people. But I can't get rid of the constant desire to run away. It's always in me. The desire to be nobody, not having any identity, etc. Anybody else struggle with that? Will it ever go away? So, fantasies of being kidnapped, taken away, and made to disappear. Anybody relate to that?
Yeah.
Go, Ninamo.
I guess.
Tell us about your rape man fantasies.
Oh god.
I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I mean, because, self-destructive brain, I do want to see myself destroyed, and so I have had fantasies like that where it's like, damn, wish someone would break in, take me away from these fuckers I hate, which is my family.
Take you where though? Like take you away like
Fucking anywhere, man. Not
throw
even
you in a
not
river?
California.
Just throw
I
you in
hate
a river
here.
somewhere? Just roll you up in a rug and throw you into a river or what? Like give you cement shoes?
No, just like I don't know.
Like
I
would you
guess I
rather be
could-
like some weird little like sex traffic slave in some other country or something?
Oh my god, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like what do you mean by kidnapped and taken away? I'm curious.
Well, I didn't exactly put thought into it. It was just one of those thoughts where it's like,
Okay.
you know, kind of wish when I like want to see myself destroyed that something like that would happen. But realistically, my big thinking brain is like, that's horrible, dude. Like, no.
I don't actually want that. But how about this though? Okay, so these are the kind of fantasies I definitely had, especially when I was younger, which was not being taken away by someone like a kidnapper or anything, but to be spirited away into somewhere else that wasn't here. To be
Schizoid isekai.
yeah, like isekai, like before isekai was even popular. I always fantasized about getting isekai somewhere, even if it was somewhere not good, as long as it was interesting and more made more sense to me than the world we lived in. Like honestly, man, like a world, like a lot of the worlds in fiction make more sense to me than anything that happens around me. The real world is ridiculously absurd and arbitrary, and there's no rules. It's just a bunch of made up shit half the time. And so the idea of living in a place or a different world in which there was more set parameters as to what existence entailed was always a fantasy I possessed. Like a world in which, like, oh, these are the parameters of this world. This is what it's like. And it's like, oh yeah, but this and but that. No. Here it's like this. There's no nuance. It's not as complicated as you're making it sound. It's not as complicated as your world, where everything is fucking complicated. Even the word complicated can be complicated. I don't know. I always had a lot of fantasies of disappearing into somewhere else where things made more sense.
Yeah.
Because what I always said was, like, I remember a long time ago I had kind of like a little bit of a psychotic break when I was younger, and it was like I was really, really angry, and I started hitting a book. I had a book in my hand, and I was hitting the book, and I was saying, it was fiction too. I don't remember what book it was, but I was saying, why can I live here? Why can I? Because the author of this universe, the author of this world, created the parameters in which this world exists. Thus, those parameters are real. Those parameters are true, and they are objective because they decided those parameters for the world that they made manifest, right? And I can't, like, and I would hit it and I go, why can't I participate in some kind of world like that? I don't feel like that anymore. I'm actually glad I don't live in a world like that. But before, when everything just felt like chaos, I always fantasized about like living somewhere where parameters were set and they couldn't be questioned. Because they didn't need to be questioned. It's not that they couldn't be. It's just that they didn't need to be. There'd be no use in questioning them, because that is the parameters that the author has decided that the world exists within. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So those were my fucking runaway or whatever fantasies.
Hoagie said something in chat that I relate with a lot.
Oh, okay. Let me read it. Let's see here. Change my name and disassociate from everyone every few months. So just be like a new person every half year.
Yeah.
Just like basically a new character. Reroll.
I mean,
Respec.
It's a comforting thing because it's like, you know, as long as you don't have anything tying you down to identify you, you can just, you know, re-roll. Cause that's what helps me with actually interacting here and like other places in general, is that, you know, worst case, I can just disappear and it's not a big deal.
Well, as long as you do it after those awesome pieces of art you're helping me with.
I'm pretty comfy here, man. I don't think I'm gonna disappear.
Not for a while? Okay, good. But if you do, please try to finish. That'd be great. I'd be sorely disappointed. But I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. You do what you want. Let's see. Sam Jam just said, all these people that you mentioned, yes, I know them. They're quite lame. I had to rearrange their faces and give them all another name. What? Is that like, it sounds like a song lyric almost. Or a poem. I had to rearrange their faces and give them all another name. I think I understand what that means. I've done that with reality itself a multitude of times, in which reality feels so mundane, so boring to me that I investigate and read up on various ways of interpreting it in order to make it more interesting than I think it is. Oh, Desolation Row, Bob Dylan. Yeah, there you go, Bob Dylan. Good lyrics.
Has anyone ever had fantasies of becoming like a spy or like an undercover kind of, like, that's like a more exciting life, but to like where you're like, you could like strip yourself of like your identity, where like it's not like you become something greater than yourself, but someone else is kind of like putting the pressure on you and like molding you and making you achieve,
where you can be anything for the sake of the mission or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. Like, so right, you heard it again, folks. Magenta just said she wants to be a femme fatale spy. But I know what you're saying. Like, it's just this idea of just roaming. Did you see that movie? The movie wasn't like the best, but I guess it kind of reminds me of that concept you're describing, which was that what was it called? Was it Atomic Blonde? Did you see that movie?
No, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of films.
No, it's okay. Yeah, but it reminds me of that. She was it's kind of the femme fatale trope, but it's one in which, like, like a spy essentially working for double crossing and working for her own gains and stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
It doesn't even have to be like glamorous. Like, it's not really that kind of fantasy. It's more just the being like the put under pressure but achieving at the same time, but also like negating your own identity and like sometimes I want to like cut up my passport, and like destroy it, like burn it, and all of my like ID cards, and just like completely start anew. I have like
do you think?
I don't know.
No, I get it. But I do have a question on that. Do you think that if you were to do so, like theoretically, if you were to do this, you destroyed your passports, IDs, everything that makes Magenta is now gone, right? And you go out on the road, you're homeless for like a few months until you get back on your feet or something, right? Or whatever handful of money you take with you, or goods, and then you start anew. Do you think that feeling will just keep reoccurring?
I think so, because it's not really about the starting anew. It's about the negation. So like,
you get bored of it at some point and negate again.
Yeah, it's more desiring like to not exist, kind of, or like. Just because I don't know, like I guess like a lot of Zoids. I mean, for me, like I retreat into my mind a lot rather than being in my body, and that's an attempt to like try to like destroy my reality, or like
Yeah.
Or like exist in like a cosmic realm in like another dimension or something.
No,
Like
I
that.
think I know what you're talking about. It's almost like making your
Yeah.
existence more ethereal,
Yeah.
more
Like
intangible.
I'm kind of sort of spiritual, and like the living and like. But yeah, and then I guess the fantasies of like wanting to change identity is almost wanting to make like that like spiritual cognitive thing happen in real life into some way. I don't know if that even
No, I
or
know,
like in a way,
dude.
but like in a
Yeah, I
way
get
that's
it.
possible. Like that is like can actually happen. Because like I know that I even if I wanted to like travel to another dimension or something like you said,
Well,
like that's just
it's not
oh,
impossible. It's just improbable. At least as of right now.
well,
Maybe in a couple
yeah.
100 years, we'll see. We'll see. But there is also the spiritual possibility of being able to do so upon, eradicating the physical form or something. So, but we don't know about that quite yet. That's a different show, a different topic. But I get what you're saying because, besides my fantasies of wanting to disappear or go somewhere else or whatever, I've also had fantasies in which I could transcend my humanness, transcend my human needs and drives and whatever exists that makes me human, to become something else. That's why I've always had a fascination with things like Lovecraft and eldritch sort of cosmic horror, because not I didn't just like it because it's so scary, right? I almost fantasized about things being able to exist in a shape or form outside of this conventional human one. And it was always just a fantasy I had, and I always enjoyed it for a variety of reasons. And I always had this affinity for fear, because fear always reminded me of existential dread, and then existential dread would be tied to these, like, this idea of being something beyond human. So yeah, and it is a lot of it is tied to the eradication of the self, because by doing so, obviously, I would be eradicating my normal way. It would be eradicating me and becoming something other. But I also fear is the mind killer. Yeah, that good one, Sam Jam. Good quote. But also I don't feel the same way, honestly. But I do feel similar in one respect. I do still fantasize about being able to become something, like just for fun, something different, something less tangible, something more cosmic and strange, but I still want to hold on to my I guess my human personality, but to be able to detach from it and then always have a tether to return to it when I want to. I like having the option. Now I want the option to exist. I want the ability to eradicate the self temporarily, only to take a break from existence, at least in that form. So
what you're saying is you're gonna come back as a great one.
Oh God, I fucking wish. Like, that's why I really loved. Did you play Bloodborne, Tina?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get the squid ending?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude! Like, I was so jelly. I was so jelly of him. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool. Like, I would want to be able to turn into some great old one, but not like have to permanently be stuck that way. Like, I would want to be a great old one that could still talk to, like, regular people. Not be so cosmic that I can no longer, like, even communicate with them. Like, I hate that. Like, I don't like that anymore, because that's just eradication. I want to be able to... I want to be more like a... If you ever watch Star Trek, it's closer to a... what do you call him? Fucking Q, I think it was, right? It's that kind of like some otherworldly cosmic entity that could still have a casual conversation. Like, I can manipulate my I guess sentience and level of cognition to whatever parameters are appropriate to the situation. So I think something like that is more of a fantasy I'm interested in. I do like the idea of being some fucking crazy cosmic old one that isn't necessarily like elitist, like going, pathetic humans, like all this shit. Like I want to be a self-aware old one that knows he's just as much space dust as the people that are worshiping him, the older the creature or whatever. I like that. I like that aspect of it. I guess a humble old one. An old one that prefers to be amongst others that are not like himself. It reminds me of there's a type of dragon. If you played any D&D, I think it's golden. I think it's golden dragons. Because there's different variety. There's the chromatic ones and the chromatic kind of metallic ones. And they all have different personalities and stuff, especially if you look at the lore regarding specific types of dragons or whatever. And one of the most interesting ones to me, and it's supposed to be the most benevolent kind of dragon, is the golden dragon. And the golden dragon, what makes them interesting is, they just like any other dragon, they live for thousands and thousands of years. But they prefer to spend their time amongst humanity. Like they like to take the shape of a human and live an entire life as a human, and then be cared for and love others as a human, and then eventually, once that existence is over, they return to being a dragon, and then they seek out a new form of living, and they go on continuously like this until their own natural deaths. And they have a complete recollection. They have a complete recollection of all the lives they've lived, and they also spend, even when in dragon form, they like to spend their time influencing, because they have such an interest in sentient life that they'll partake in trying to help in what they perceive to be good causes. Like they'll show up and they'll be like, okay, this is a really bad war. I know what to do to try to make this better, to make this war cease. So I'm going to go into this not as a dragon but as a human, and I'm going to live a lifetime, a normal human lifetime, in which I will participate in the act of quelling this situation. And then they do so. And if they're murdered or attempted to be murdered during that session, they obviously can turn back into a dragon and not die at all, and then attempt again in a different scenario or situation, whatever their goal was.
So they are eternal, like they never die.
Well, they die of old age, but you can't kill you can kill a golden dragon, but I mean it's going to take a lot more than what it kill a human. You get me? It's going to take way more to kill a golden dragon than what it would take to kill a human. You can't just run a spear through a fucking dragon scales. You get me? So even though they could take the form of human, they keep a lot of the constitution and strength of a dragon, essentially. But I just like that they don't use their power to hoard gold or rule over empires or rule over with their majestic nature. They just want to be these humble contributors to existence. I find that fascinating, and I love that notion. If I were born in such a similar scenario, that's the kind of life I would want to lead. Like if I'm like, I guess I'd be one of those weirdos, and I probably wouldn't be in the same, but if I was like a trust fund kid or something, and I was still had the same personality, I would probably use all my assets to subvert so much shit that that runs contrary to probably my own position in life. So if you gave me millions of dollars, I would turn those millions of dollars into more of millions of dollars in order to create situations that would destabilize current hierarchical situations. Not really be interested in trying to perpetuate them. But anyway, I like chaos too much in that sense.
I think what scares me a lot is like eternal life. I'm just like I don't want to live eternally. I don't want to be reincarnated or what is called. I don't like that freaks me out.
Well, I have theories.
I don't want to come back as a fly or something. Like
Well, it won't be for
I just
long.
want to.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
just don't want to
you're gonna be a
exist,
fly
you
for
know?
about a
Like,
day.
yeah.
No, see, because this is my thought on it. If you want to hear, see, this is what I mean. We go from running away, and then we're gonna get into the metaphysical now. Okay, so as far as the metaphysical goes, if you wanna bring that up, I have this belief that because when a human being thinks about eternity, it's just as daunting for many as the thought of oblivion, right? So and so people feel as if that's all they have to choose from, right? The only two big choices are: do you want eternal life or do you want oblivion, like at some point or another? And I disagree. I think that there may be a middle ground. And that middle ground is when time and space becomes irrelevant, right? So, for example, every day that you live, right? Not always, but in most people's cases, every day that you live it as though you are unaware of when your existence will cease, and you're indifferent to that. So you just kind of almost live as if you are already eternal as it is. And then if you throw into that calculation a deconstruction of what conventional time and space is, or and then expand further your own like cognitive abilities in order to be able to understand, or the capacity to comprehend the destabilization of time and space, then eternity will feel like not an eternity. It will feel like neither an eternity nor a finite situation. It will be both all at once. So and so then and what I like about that is that if you're if you're both in both situations at once, then your eternity never feels like it's never ending, and your oblivion never feels like it's completely over. It's caught in a kind of paradox, and I kind of think that if there is a continuous quote unquote eternal soul, it would be an existence that's kind of caught in this sort of limbo, in which you wouldn't be negatively impacted by the same thoughts that you would while you're alive. Like things would start making more sense in that state than say that they do. So I think it's similar also to like try to reverse it. Like you can't imagine what it's like to be a non-sentient sort of creature, right? You can't imagine what it's like to be a fly. Like something that can't really cognitively perceive, like in any complex capacity, the world around them. They're like little organic machines, right? And to much of a degree, we can be too. But we can't perceive that. You can't fathom it. And I think it's the same way one cannot fathom eternity without it causing anxiety or trouble in your mind. So my suggestion is to worry about neither. And just go. Just go, because you can't do anything to stop it. And the thing I've always said is that one of the things I've said is that I think when somebody says, "Oh, you're just fantasizing about living forever because you're afraid of death," and all I have to say in return is, "You're just fantasizing about death because you're afraid of living forever."
That's a good point.
So
That's a good way to turn it around.
yeah, that's how I turned it around every time. They're like, "Oh, you just believe in this stuff because you're afraid of death. You're afraid of oblivion." It's like, you're afraid of eternity. What's your point? It doesn't matter what you're afraid of, because you don't control in that sense, and maybe you do to some capacity control it. So I kind of like to prepare for possibilities. So the way I like to perceive life itself is in preparation for that possibility. So if for some reason, like just say, oh, my life is so terrible, everything's so awful, I fucking hate my existence, I'm gonna do nothing to better it. In fact, what I'm gonna do is, eat some lead, right? So what happens when you take that breakfast of champions and then all of a sudden you're still cognizant? What if you're wrong? What if it's not freedom? All right. What if it's not the oblivion you signed up for? And then guess what? You're fucked, right? So if it is the oblivion you signed up for, then I guess you're good. Everyone's good in that sense. But if it's not, then you're completely fucked, right? Because all that shit's going to carry over. All your misery. Now you have all the fucking misery you had before, minus any possibility of interacting with others to try to improve your situation or outlook on existence. Unless there's ghosts there, in which case you're probably going to run into the same fucking problem anyway. So my point is that maybe it's better to live life as if there is a possibility that your cognition will remain after death, because if you do so, then you don't see it as an end. You don't see it as an out to this. You see it as a continuation. And if you see it as a continuation, it kind of incentivizes you to want to improve things in the present, because you don't have something to fall back on that's just going to automatically fix everything, like death. And it is and honestly, like, I feel like people thinking about death as like this ultimate solution, this ultimate kind of negation of all the pain and suffering or happiness or everything that you endured in life. I think that's just as much of a kind of cope as believing in an afterlife can be. So I don't know if that sounds crazy to you guys. What do you guys think of that? Silence. Come on, Enomo. Just like did I go too nuts? Did I go too off the rails, even for my fucking Zoid audience?
I'm
Fucking
kind of
great.
sleep deprived right now, so I'm like in and out of listening.
Oh,
sometimes,
God damn it! I
but,
forget. Enomo just drifts away at times. I forget that one. No hate for that. I forget. How about you, Tina? Well, Ninomo floats in the ethereal realm, in the eternal realm.
Dude, I wish I could just like jump out of this flesh suit. I don't want it.
You don't want to what?
I don't want this flesh suit, man.
Hey, and you might not have to keep it forever, man. That's the thing. Like, you might not have to keep that flesh suit forever, but maybe this is all there is to existence. So. Either way, the way I see it is be as efficient and learned and wise and principled and so on and so forth as one can achieve in this limited time frame. Just in case.
But
no, you're doing a great job as it is. You're doing an amazing job.
For me, it's hard because it's like, when I think of improving, it makes me think of having to go out in the world and do things and like bring my body along, essentially, when it's a body I don't want.
Well, if you think about it as like a mech suit, right? If you think about it as just this machine, and stop making the body the self, right? And that doesn't work
for the self.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the self to some. But what I'm saying is if you perceive your body as like a flesh machine that's merely carrying some kind of essence or consciousness, right, that is intangible, then that essentially can motivate you to move this flesh suit around to achieve the goals of your intangible self. That's kind of how I see my flesh suit. I see it as like a temporary husk that I'm familiar with, which is this face and these hands. So
I do, but at the same time, I like innately reject my body because it wasn't one I wanted. Like, it's not the right one. Jesus Christ, I should just stop beating around the bush. I'm trans, so I have problems with my body.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes everything. I didn't know that aspect.
Yeah,
There you go.
I didn't want to say it, but might as well
fine.
now because
No, it makes
it'll
more
aid
sense
to the
now.
explanation of things.
There you go. So it kind of changes the dynamic of it. So there is an association
Yeah.
there. That's the thing, though. Like, I don't know. Like, it's confusing to me. Like, for example, if I don't know. Maybe that's just like there's a kind of like because you said trans, but there's also the transhumanistic aspect or component for myself. Like, if you gave me a different like body that was like, say, non-human, I might actually find it more satisfactory than the one I'm in.
Yeah, same.
So and which is interesting to me because like I always found I remember Magenta was on the last live stream and she had mentioned that like she felt like the body was like this like weird separate entity, like this meat machine, right? And I remember she kind of described this kind of disassociation to the body, and so what you're describing sounds similar. And I don't, okay, mind you, I don't know your own experiences. Considering, I am not this, but I always wondered if some of us out here feel similarly or similar sort of kind of disconnect from the body that isn't necessarily as inherently damaging as, say, normal sorts of or understood sorts of dysphoria. Like, I don't have like an attachment to my body.
So for me, the conversation with Magneta, and she
Magenta, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
How she said that being schizoid and trans are two different issues for her. Well, it's pretty much the same for me. Like, I feel like it's different. I mean, sometimes it goes hand in hand, like, oh, this connects here, but most of the time it's different.
Like those issues don't conflate one another. Like, they don't cross over, really. Like, because that's what I wondered. Like, if it's
most of the time, no.
They don't cross over, and that's one thing. That's why I'm doing a lot of this too, is to learn about these other types of issues that I don't comprehend as well.
It's like, for me, the disassociation from my body, since I've been able to transition, so it's been easier in terms of gender dysphoria, but like, the disassociation from my body is still innately there from schizoid, but not from trans. It's like once I was able to transition, it just made things a lot easier, and then I started dealing like with this full on with schizoid.
What happened? Did you get cut off?
Did I?
Oh, no, you're good. No, it's just okay. I didn't know if you were done there. Or...
But yeah, I was done.
Okay. You kind of drifted off, so I'm like, wait. I can't tell with you sometimes. It's just kind of like it
sorry,
it dissipates.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, it's
where
like
I'll say so as like the end of a thing, and it's like, what the fuck? This isn't how talking works.
It's just like, yeah, and then I went down that hall and I saw.
Yeah.
And they just kind of go quiet, and it's like, and then I noticed. It's like, oh, like it ends with a ... type situation. No, that's fine. I don't care. No, I just find it interesting and fascinating because I am so, what's the word? I am so disconnected from the notion of identity oftentimes outside of whatever it is that lies under this flesh, that hearing other people's dilemmas or situations in which it is associated or it is a fundamental aspect
Oh, I
is
just remembered something.
fascinating to me, because I don't understand. Like, if I right now I am like, for example, this is just my take. This is nothing on anybody else's. Like, right now I am male, right? I am male, like a, man face, man arms, dick and balls, all that, right? So if for some magical reason, I was no longer the such, but I still retained the same consciousness, I wouldn't have any issue in particular with having a change in physical format. The only issue I would have would obviously be that I'm probably going to be it's going to be very confusing to my children and my wife, obviously, and she's probably she's not into chicks, so that might be a problem. But my point is this: like on a existential level, I myself do not comprehend what the issue would be. Personally, I would just be like, okay, these are my new parts. Let's have some fun, and fuck, like, and that's just me. Maybe that's just me because I'm fucking insane. But and I think it's just because I'm fucking insane, or my indifference has gotten to the point of just immersing myself in absurdity.
No,
But
I totally get it, because
like, I wouldn't care. I'd just be like, oh sweet, I got tits now. I got this cool pussy. That's rad. And then I'd be like, all right, let's go be a slut.
if I could jump back and forth.
Well, it'd be awesome, right?
Yeah, because I identify most as non-binary.
Okay. Maybe that's
so,
what that means to
like,
me.
I
Like,
get
because when
that.
people describe non-binary to me, it's always so fucking confusing, like what it is they're trying to describe. And I'm starting to think that maybe it's more about indifference than it is about identity.
It's, for me, identifying as androgynous or, just whatever,
Catboy.
Like you, no. Like what you just said, you could, like, you don't mind seeing whichever.
No, I wouldn't care.
Whichever. I can't speak. Oh my god.
If I could become like this tentacled thing with like a pussy for a face and like 20 eyes, right? And like tentacles with dicks on them or whatever, like that would be fun for a good hour or so, or however long. And then I'd be like, I don't want to be this tentacled dick monster anymore. This was fun, but I'm bored of being a tentacled dick monster. I want to now be a I don't know, some other thing with other things coming out of it and weird protrusions, or whatever, or some other humanoid shape and form, an elf. I don't know, fucking a dragonborn. It doesn't. You get me?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I see in your art, and that's probably why I like your art so much.
Yeah, that's my drawings are kind of my ideal, because I'd say they're pretty androgynous. Like,
Oh yeah.
I usually actually kind of never draw them with genitals, because genitals nasty.
Oh, I disagree.
Like, I wish I could just be like a fucking alien with no genitals, just like existing.
Fucking ATP 7936. I don't know who you are, but he just put quote. Oh, hold on, where'd it go? One of my live
I
chat.
don't want to be a tentacle dick monster anymore. Schizoid angst.
I don't want to be a tentacle dick monster anymore. I'm bored of being a tentacle dick monster.
Okay, before I forget this, because
Yeah, do it.
something that
Because I do have to shut it down pretty soon here.
Okay, well, it's just something that connects Schizoid and the trans issues for me, which is of course my brain decides, no, we're gonna close up shop for a moment.
Sorry, lube it up. Get some spit on your hand and make it work. You want me to finger it a little?
It's just that, like, when I look at myself in the mirror, normally I'm disassociated from my body, and because I was able to transition and be more androgynous, I'm more comfortable with it in terms of the trans issues, but when I still look in the mirror and I see that face, it reminds me of my past and, you know, childhood and stuff. And it's not something I want to see or connect to on, like, with the schizoid stuff. Or in terms of that.
I got it.
If that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I can understand what you mean by that. In that aspect, that actually kind of does make sense. I mean, it's probably the reason I would want to transform my own body into some other variation at will. Because like, this body reminds me of me, or whatever this human aspect is.
You could shed everything else, but you still are forced to have this body, even if you drastically changed it.
Fascinating. It all comes down to annihilation. And that's so interesting to me. Self-annihilation. Metaphysical self-immolation. And but not a complete destruction, almost like a rebirth. A phoenix rising of sorts. That's so interesting to me. I like that quite a bit. Anyway, guys, I gotta shut this shit down because I gotta get back to my life. My human life. But I have to get back to it. Trust me, hey guys, okay, one thing I want to do before I disappear here. Okay, if there's any kind of masking that I still do on this channel, it's pretending to be a little more cohesive in my thought patterns than I probably actually am. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, my mind is all over the place all the time, and it probably wouldn't make for a very good host. So, I kind of described earlier, like, when things get a little bananas for me, like, I get a little, almost like manic. So it can go from, like, you know, like this kind of my generally calm, tranquil demeanor, but when I get excited, it starts going into, like, crazy places, right? Like, real crazy. So, and I've always had this affinity to do voices and things because it's another way of transmuting the self into a different variation, different personality, a different cognition of sorts. But I'm always terrified that I'm just gonna look completely batshit and then just, like, lose everyone's attention, because that's what happened to me in life. The stranger I get, the more I lose the attention or the relatability that may exist. Like, because that's the thing. Like, you guys are schizoids, I get it, and I'm schizoid as fuck, but I'm also fucking batshit, and I don't want to, like, I always think, like, am I gonna scare them off if I get a little too weird?
Do a voice for us.
Well, no, I do them all the fucking time. Just give me a. You want me to speak this way? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can.
We're still here.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just. I mean? Yeah, no, I get it, but
Yeah.
like, that's why I have this interest in creating that scattershot show, because I honestly wish I could, like, if it were up to me, I would have, like, a fucking ridiculous fucking outfit, and you know, host the what do you want, the Schizoid Scattershot show, and just, like, have a fucking neon signs and all kinds of crazy shit, fucking weird shitty After Effects going off. Man, I wish I knew how to do that stuff, because it would be fascinating.
Seems like a show that would have the vibes of, like, a late night show.
Oh yeah, but highly chaotic and very much all over the fucking place. Like,
can you win prizes?
The only prize you can win on my game is free will. That's the only prize you can win. There's a show I listen to that I really like. I won't, like, plug it here too much because it can be pretty political most of the time. But there's one aspect of it that I really dig that they talk about, which is they're always saying, like, oh, you know, join our Patreon and you'll get free will points. Free will for you. Free will for you. Free will. Like, all the free will credits you need. So
the Oprah meme.
Yeah, but just free
Free
will.
card for you,
I'll give you guys all the free will. Like, I have so much fucking free will. I have more than enough. I'm a fucking billionaire when it comes to free will. I'll give it all to you guys. All right, sign up for my Patreon. You get fucking piles of fucking free will, metaphysically mailed to you through out of my mind. You'll get all of that and more if you sign to my Patreon, and you can get on this fucking stream and have fun with me like this. Okay, guys? Honestly, like, I think about it, guys, and I think part of the more psychological reason for why it is that I like being with Zoids like myself so much is because I feel like it could be a little more insane than I normally get to be in most everyday life. And then on top of that, I also like the idea, if I want to think of a selfish reason of why I would want to show the world that the neurodiverse are quite useful and quite interesting for a variety of reasons, is because, one, they can be very entertaining, and that's why I wouldn't have any issues with as far as the channel goes. The server itself is like Zoid specific, but as far as the channel goes, I wouldn't mind having more people that are like more diverse in mindsets and such, because I just find the chaos exhilarating. And so yes, if you like my shit, Zoid or not, Patreon it, PayPal, whatever the fuck, just do it. You're spending all your goddamn money on fucking hamburgers and other dumb fucking shit. Give me your fucking money. I'm better than you. What do you have to live for? Anyway, okay. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll have more fun next time, and thank you for joining me in this, whatever the fuck this is supposed to be. Peace.